let's kind of get into the speculative stuff a little bit. I want to play this BBC special that aired last night. It was radio only. It's about 36 minutes long. If you guys can do me a solid, I'm just going to drop the link in YouTube because I only monitor the chat in YouTube. So if you're watching this on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, wherever, click that link that I just dropped in all chat, head over to YouTube, hit the like button, thumbs up, and subscribe, obviously, so you don't miss anything, because I'll keep an eye on the chat on YouTube if you guys have any questions for us as we're doing this, or anything you want us to address as we're kind of going through this. So let's throw this in the stream here. And I've checked the audio. If you guys have any issues with the audio while it's playing, you let me know. I think we'll be able to run through this at about 1.2 times speed and still understand it. We'll kind of pause along the way. So if there's something that you want to hit on, just say pause, and I'll just hit the pause button, and then we'll kind of discuss it, and then we'll just go and resume it. So we'll just play this intro.
Before we start, broadly speaking, I mean, this documentary was produced by an individual called Paul Kenyon, I think his name is, and someone called Haley. Now, first of all, Paul's been writing a significant amount of things on Twitter, which, no problem. He's trying to advertise his show. But one of the points he makes is this. He says, from the information, well, he makes 2 points. First, he says in this audio that you're going to listen to, there's a treasure trove of information. So listening to it, I was expecting massive bombshells. Mm-hmm. I was expecting things which would be unbelievable. And he claimed that this would be the reason or an example or exemplar of why the Tates are going to be convicted. So I'll allow that your audience to see if they come to the same conclusion. And the second issue is, he said that according to the information he has, the Tate brothers are going to remain in prison till May, 5 weeks before the 180 days are run out, and then the trial will start immediately. Now, when I read that, I have two questions. The first question is, you've stated that unequivocally. So it's not, you've said my opinion, you've said it's going to happen. So if that's the case, and you it's one of two things: either you're inaccurate and you're just talking nonsense, or the other option is you have inside information. The concern with that is, if you have inside information, that again goes to the idea of the matrix and these brothers, the judgment already been decided. Because remember, they're meant to be having a hearing every 30 days. The prosecution are meant to be presenting the evidence. They're going to be presenting the defense, and then the judge makes a decision. Then most likely they'll appeal that decision. So up until May, there should be 6 court hearings. So is he saying those court hearings are a foregone conclusion? So those are the two issues that I think need to be raised before we listen to it. And then the third thing is, if you look at the narrative, it's very one-sided and quite biased. So they were just my comments before we start.
Yeah, you'll get a general feel for what the BBC's done with this once we start playing through it, because a lot of the proof didn't really seem to be there when I was listening to it. And I listened to it twice this morning to take a few notes. So let me throw it back up on the screen again. If there's something that you want to pause and discuss, just let me know. Just say pause, and I'll pause it, and then we'll hop into it. All right, let's go back in here and put this back up on the screen. Okay, and let's hit play. And again, if you guys have any issue with the audio, just let me know, and I'll make some adjustments. Come on, play. There we go.
I am, by the metrics of the internet, the most famous individual who is currently alive in the world today.
Andrew Tate, a self-proclaimed misogynist who says he's a trillionaire and who's followed on by a huge digital army of young men.
The youth of today won't.
Go ahead.
Well, straight first point, they start with this idea of self-proclaimed misogynist. It's to create the narrative that, guess what, he is a misogynist, and it's based on what he said. Now, I had an interaction with somebody from the New York Post. His name was Joshua, and I forgot his surname. And he started and said, look, I'm writing an article about the self-proclaimed misogynist, Andrew Tate. So I asked him, I said, look, can you provide me for the reference for that statement? So he said, no problem. And then he provided me with a link to the BBC. So I said to him, look, that's not a primary source. Can you provide me for the information for a primary source? So he sent me a podcast. And so I'll listen to the podcast. And the irony is, in the podcast, Andrew Tate says, you guys call me a misogynist because you guys are zombified and you guys are brainwashed by the Matrix to call me a misogynist, but I'm not. So he says the opposite in that. So there may be some other clip, but they've not been able to provide it. So in reality, they all copied each other about this statement, and no one actually knows the original source for the statement.
Yeah, I've heard him use it in a self-deprecating, almost comical way. You know, like it's clear to me when I hear him use that, or he's addressing it. He's just making fun of it. Like, I'm the last person that you should consider a misogynist. I take care of women. I have a family. You know, I raise children, sort of thing. I look after the people that I love. I've retired my mother. But it's
the other side don't believe in comedy, do they? That's the problem.
No.
When you don't like someone, everything's literal.
Yeah, they'll take everything literally, and that's what they do, right? Like, they go looking for sound bites. It becomes a witch hunt, and to me, this does seem like a witch hunt. Should we carry on?
Yeah. Yes, please.
All right, let's go.
Don't listen to anybody else. That's the reason I'm the most famous man on the planet, because none of these other people have the authority to affect them like I do.
His videos have been viewed more than 12 billion times online, boasting about his lavish lifestyle and urging men to toughen up and take control of women.
Life is war. It's a war for the female you want. It's a war for the car you want. It's a war for the money you want. It's a war for the status. If you're a man who doesn't view life as war, you're going to lose.
I'm Paul Kenyon. I specialize in exposing criminality and have family in Romania, where Tate's empire prospered.
And I'm Georgia Cohn. I'm from the same town as Tate, Luton. I know the same neighbourhoods and some of the same people. My mum even grew up on the same council estate, Marsh Farm.
We're doing this investigation together because Tate's alpha male, ultra masculine message is aimed at young men.
And his violent misogyny is something women like me find upsetting.
Yep.
It's a very short comment. Violent misogyny. So where's the evidence for that statement? So again, you've thrown a statement out which sounds completely horrendous. Violent misogyny. Where's the evidence for violent misogyny? So you're going to see through this piece, I've highlighted this point, where they'll make statements like these without ever backing it up with any evidence or data.
Are they making reference to the video clip of Andrew back in the day when he was quite a bit younger, where he was filmed beating a woman with a belt? It was, revealed afterwards that was consensual on both sides, and some people are into that. Like, is that what they're trying to amplify at this stage, do you think?
Well, we don't know, because they've not provided any evidence. They do refer to that issue later, so we will go into detail about that when they bring it up.
Okay, let's carry on.
And extremely offensive.
Tate is being held in a Romanian prison over allegations of human trafficking and rape. But he says it's all a setup by what he calls the Matrix, a conspiracy of the rich and powerful to shut him up.
Please, what evidence they have against me? It's nothing.
I just buried this so deeply.
Tonight, File on 4 has an exclusive interview with a British woman who says that she was controlled and abused by Andrew Tate.
It was just constantly feeling inferior to him. I realised I just couldn't live like that anymore, and it wasn't normal.
And I'm flying...
Sorry, I just want to pause on that for a moment here, because I think it's relevant. Like, one of the sound bites that they drop in here several times throughout the cast is, I felt inferior to him. Like, I constantly felt inferior to him. Well, I mean, if you're a woman and you're dating a guy that's massive, I mean, he's a giant. He's 6'2", 6'3". He's a retired kickboxer. He's got lots of money. It's hard to feel superior to a guy like that. So why is this being amplified? Is a question that I have. Like, I feel inferior to Elon Musk, right? I mean, me stating that, does that mean that Elon Musk is a violent misogynist, towards me? You see what I'm driving at?
It's an excellent point, because someone's thought process of feeling inferiority should never have a basis. I would say the significant reasons, I think you gave a prime example, but there's significant reasons in psychology that causes one to feel inferior. I would say being Asian, coming from the United Kingdom, you have this kind of inferiority complex where you're trying harder, trying to prove yourself harder. Does that mean that now entire society has caused that to happen? Probably not. So, there's significant issues. I totally agree with what you said.
All right, let's carry on.
To Romania to ask whether his boasts of vast wealth are all that they seem, and what lies behind his network of companies.
Well, having seen the information that you've shown me, it is quite hard to differentiate that from other networks I've seen which have ultimately ended up being shown to be money laundering or other financial criminal networks.
Tonight, the shocking story behind one of the world's most infamous social media stars, and how he became an icon of young men looking for fast money, fast girls, and internet stardom.
I'll give it to him. This is a well-produced audio piece. The sound, everything, it's spot on. Like they're definitely driving at something here, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's a good, and also he's a very good narrator. Like he knows how to use his elocution at the right points to get his point across.
It's a cold morning in January, and I'm on my way to see a young woman with an important story to tell. She's Andrew Tate's ex-girlfriend, and she's decided to give her first interview to File On Call. I think that's her, actually, because I recognise her from her pictures. I'm meeting her in a car park of a motorway service station because she's scared and doesn't feel comfortable to let us visit her at home. She asked if we can talk in my car. We're going to call her Sophie. She's worried about a possible online backlash from Tate's followers. Her words are spoken by an actor. If you stop.
So first, there's 2 points here. The first thing is that they dramatized it saying she's too scared. She's going to meet in the car park. But later on Twitter, they said she's the 7th victim now. So she's going to be added to the case. If she's added to the case, she's not going to be anonymous. She's going to have to go to court. She's going to have to be questioned. She's going to have to be cross-examined. So again, it's providing drama when in reality there's no drama basis for that drama because she's going to be coming out publicly. That's the first point. And the second thing is the actor that is playing the woman. What you'll see is I'll have some comments about that later, but just to highlight the audience, this is an actor now. It's not the actual woman who does this talking or crying.
Yeah, they've used a voice actor to, I guess, just read the lines that she stated. So yeah.
I mean that's a question. So if there's like certain parts in there that the voice actor cries and shows emotion. So now is that based on a script where the script is telling her to cry, or was she there when the interview was occurring? So in your experience, what do you think?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out when we listen to this.
And just take a breather, let us know, because we can do that.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that.
She arrives wearing a black fur coat, looking flawless. She's nervous. Her hands are shaking as she speaks.
It's very difficult because I don't feel like a victim. I mean, all the choices I made were of my free will. He didn't, bundle me up in a bag, throw me in the back of a lorry and drive me there. But
pause, please.
Yeah.
I mean, do we need any comments? She literally states the whole thing and just demonstrates why this isn't trafficking. She basically, it was my free will. It was my choice. He didn't force me to go.
Yeah. That's not going to serve them in court, will it? I don't think it will anyway. I mean, we'll see how the Romanian court system, receives something like that. But if I was on the defense side, I would definitely use that. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here. And pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.